shout out to you, Candace. Again, looking good. Now I gotta just say it one more time. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah, oh
saying?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Believe that to not support the ethnic cleansing, they're then going to mine our like preconditioned beliefs about the Holocaust and be like, oh, well, a Jewish person died. So like, if you don't agree with what we're doing over here, then you're a person that wants more Jewish people to die. It's like, this is an evil way to try to socially engineer what you want, because actually it's precisely because of what I learned growing up about Holocaust and ethnic cleansings that I do not support what the state of Israel is doing. And you're trying to convince me that it means that if anybody's been wronged in the past, they can't wrong people in the future. You're also wrongly conflating like a Jewish American. Why? You have nothing to do with what's going on in Israel. This is a foreign country. No more than if right now we were standing up to a genocide that was happening in Ghana.
Yeah,
and then when I'm going to be like, oh well, if you don't support what the the president of Ghana wants to do, then you want American slavery back. I'm like, it's like, what? What are you talking about? Just because I'm black and like maybe my family is from Ghana, why on earth would I not be able to critique a foreign country for something that they're doing that is so objectively wrong?
yeah.
And so it's disappointed me as someone who just had so much respect and belief in the conservative movement and believing that it was a principled movement, and Christians as well. I've been very disappointed in Christians who are trying to use this like biblical argument for just, well, no matter what,
Are people doing that?
yeah, it's pretty sick, man. It is very sick. They're basically saying that the Bible will bless those who bless Israel. And I'm like, okay, so we have a country who first and foremost doesn't have to give us back our pedophiles. Literally, they have this weird rule that you can go if you're Jewish and hide as a pedophile. And
Keep
actually,
that
an amazing
Bible,
Jewish
man.
organization did the work there. You could pull it up. I think it was on CBS. I forgot what the name of the Jewish organization, but they went to Israel and was like, why are we harboring pedophiles?
So there was a Jewish organization that they had pedophiles.
They did amazing. No, they were not the pedophiles. They did the investigation to show how people are using, how like people who have molested children in America, if they're Jewish, they can then make their trip to Israel and be protected by the government. And Israel doesn't have to they literally don't have
Why
to.
we supporting
Yeah.
that, man?
CBS
Why we
News, that's the second
supporting
one.
that?
How Jewish
Right.
American
You will not
pedophiles
find a single
Trump
person who says that that's
administration,
wrong.
hide from
Elon,
justice
dog.
in Israel.
And we
But
know
can't they
you
hide?
can't be,
Can't most
child
people say if
trafficking
you
in the
are?
United
So these
States,
are
across the
people that
globe, can't
are
be in the United
Israeli
States.
citizens.
Absolutely.
No, they
So
can then
this all
become
ties
Israeli.
in.
So they're American, right? So if they just hop, if they're being on a trial, you get to Israel, they'll protect you. And so they went to where all these pedophiles are, and spoke a lot about this or I can't remember the name of the organization, but they did amazing work there. Jewish Community Watch, that's what it is. And so that's what I mean, where it's like there's also this wrong
Community
conflation that
Watch.
annoys me as well, because you have Jewish organizations who will objectively say this is wrong. They recognize they are Americans. They don't support pedophiles.
Right.
And yet the
Even the Jewish
mainstream media
community
is trying to
saying it's
conflate
wrong.
them and make them think that they have to defend the actions of this state. And yeah, if you even talk about this, so say it's anti-Semitic, talk about this. What are you talking about? You're taking billions. That's the difference here. This is a country that is taking billions and billions and billions. It's an American welfare state. And CBS jumped on it. CBS News investigation has found that many accused American pedophiles flee to Israel, and bringing them justice can be difficult.
Okay, has been trying for years to find
Caro's
Caro
one
and
of
help bring
them.
to justice. So Jimmy Caro, he's a wanted man and is considered dangerous, accused of assaulting a 9-year-old girl in Oregon in 2000. He fled to Israel before authorities in the U.S. could apprehend him. But is this just one guy?
No. So this is a story about how they are doing this. Like, it's the main story is like that they were investigating is that there's so many people that did this.
Why do they allow it?
Because they
Corruption.
have special consideration
Jeffrey
and they are
Epstein.
not allowed. They don't
What's
have to
up?
give us back our pedophiles. I don't know. I never understand these random Israeli loopholes, and it's ridiculous. And the fact that they can just call people anti-Semitic, like it's like a sweeping allegation. How dare you notice that this is happening over here? You anti-Semite, and it's like we have every right to critique this nation because you take money from us, especially.
Absolutely.
Right. That means when we go to work and taxes are being taken away, we're paying to support this. And then we're being gaslit by the media who's telling us that critiquing them in any way is an act of hatred for Jews, which is just such a nonsense.
Oh, I don't like that Netanyahu guy.
Netanyahu.
This guy,
Got the big forehead. Got the Stephen A. forehead.
I just want to say something, man. It's pretty disgusting. It's pretty messed up because not only for the sense of the people and the children that got to go through all of this, the mental trauma, you know what I'm saying? It's horrific, man. It's horrific. I feel bad for these kids and these women and these young men, young boys that have to go through this craziness. And not even just that. They don't even realize, or they tied the American people into this.
Our government allow it.
They tie us into this because we pay taxes and they put some of this money towards these different things.
They're very powerful in America, man. The Jewish elite, the Zionist group.
Like, we can't skip that part. Like, yeah, we figure out who the bad guys are, who the people involved. But once we find out who the people involved, we also have to take steps on, wait a minute, man. Y'all allowed the people money to be involved in this. You tied not just the corrupted people, the small time players making the moves, but y'all tied up the American people into pedophilia, lobbying for foreign countries, foreign agents, without having to go through the necessary steps every other country has to go through that's foreign or outside of the United States. It's crazy, man. And it's like, like she said, anytime we sit back and say something about anything they done, oh no, you can't do that. You can't say that. That's anti-Semitic. That's bad Jewish talk. You can't.
Right.
No. You're not about to keep getting by with that.
Or covering up.
Covering up. Just in New York, they covered up all them people they found underground.
Right.
Come
molesting
on, man.
kids
Molesting
underground,
man. This is not.
That ain't what God said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What part of the Torah is that?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Use common sense, man. Wrong is wrong.
Wrong is wrong and right is right, man.
And we, United States citizens, we don't support that. You know what I'm saying? And this Trump administration, we don't support that.
Not at all.
That's a fact. You can't go talk about stop the killing in Ukraine and everywhere else, but yeah, you pushing for it over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Y'all got to stop that, man. My bad, LTs, was you?
Oh, no, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done,
man.
I hate him.
That guy seems like an evil guy to me, and I think he's seemed like that to most people now because of, mostly I think it's just like nobody wants war or anything, and we're lucky to live in a place where like Tennessee's not at war with Kentucky, so there's not like the risk every day or night of things flying over, the fence. But I've thought that America is a kind of like a shell company sometimes, but maybe it's always just been that way. Like, that's the thing. Like, maybe it's always been that way. Maybe it isn't. I just would like to know what it is, right? So then it's like you can operate within the reality of things.
Yeah.
But then also people say that, like, well, why do you think there's such a strong relationship between the two countries then?
Blackmail.
Right.
I think blackmail, and I think this is the reason why we don't get to open the Epstein files, we don't get to open the JFK files, and I think it's a form of gaslighting us to pretend that our special friend and ally isn't just and by the way, parking aside America, other countries too, you investigate anything. I mean, I'm investigating Brigitte Macron, and Israeli blackmail comes up in Morocco. Israeli blackmail comes up in... So to pretend that we don't know that Israel is involved in blackmail operations is foolish. And again,
I think all countries are probably involved in them.
And I think that they have been like they have gotten it down to a science. And there's no question in my mind that like sexual blackmail is what Jeffrey Epstein was involved in.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if that means these, people don't know when they go to these parties that the girls are underage. And then it's like, haha, we've got you on tape, whatever it is. And we can even, taking a look at the Diddy case, blackmail, these powerful blackmail operations are definitely operating. And
that's actual blackmail,
yeah,
too.
It's true blackmail. I mean, if you have hidden cameras and you're capturing people doing drugs and sleeping with underage people. So I think these are blackmail operations. And I think they've been going on for decades in America. I think it was Jeffrey Sachs who spoke really well about that, the history of that on Tucker Carlson's show. And he's Jewish. And that's what I hate about it. It's trying to make Jewish Americans think that they have to defend the country is so ridiculous. I am not required to, if my family goes back to Uganda, I am not required to defend Uganda as a state. I'm sorry, I'm an American, and I think what you're doing is wrong. If it doesn't really matter, And you're right to say that it's sort of this circumstance where everybody knows something is going on and they think they're just going to keep gaslighting us. It's so weird. Like they're just going to go, nothing's going on. Nothing. There's just every day, everybody woke up one day and decided to be Hitler. Like that's what the media is basically accusing us of, for like noticing a lot of dead people, like a lot of dead women and children. And that's failing. And by the way, I think that is the reason. I don't regret them doing that, because it's the reason why
Regret who doing that?
podcasts like the mainstream media, you know, this
Mainstream
like
media.
effort to just keep smearing, libeling people for noticing basic human things. And I don't regret it, because I think it's the reason that
They're
trust
controlled
with them
by
has been
Israel.
fractured. I'm grateful that people no longer believe them. I'm grateful that now people are going to independent podcasts, and when we go on Spotify, you see like Tucker Carlson,
Independent
Candace Owens.
podcast.
That means that for holding on to just like basic human values and being willing to talk about issues in a way and not pretend that your audiences are stupid and not seeing what you're
Right, because we're not stupid.
we've earned their trust, you know. And I don't want to fumble that ball. Like I want to always say, even if I don't know something, and sometimes I don't, I can't speak on it, that I don't know everything, but I'm willing to find out before I speak on it, or at least have the conversation and not treat you like you're an idiot and I'm like the authority.
Yeah, I just can't learn at a fast rate. That's one of my biggest issues, I think. Speaking about Epstein, right? How do you know he's not just a Jewish guy who was being perverted or whatever, and that he was doing business? Like, there's no real connection that he works for Israel, though.
Well, he had passports. Yeah. So, and then it's also his ties to Ghislaine Maxwell, Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell. The whole Mossad attended his funeral. He died in very weird circumstances. I don't think
The whole Mossad ain't attending your funeral if you're a regular person, man.
Come on.
And you can't get passports for other countries at different names, man, without it coming from the top. They benefited very well throughout this country and other countries by using blackmail. And they used Jeffrey Epstein on the elite.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact for years, man. You know what I'm saying? And to quiet them, they made sure he was dead and gave us some kind of stupid excuse. Talking about he hung himself. And all of a sudden the cameras was gone.
Right.
Come on, man. We ain't stupid. We know y'all covering up. We see y'all still got a hold on America and over the Trump administration. We see that.
Yeah.
even people who are pro-Zionist would deny that he was obviously Israeli-American intelligence. And he had weird passports. I mean, he had like a Saudi Arabian passport, an Israeli passport, an American passport.
Oh, he's perving then.
And yeah, and under different
That's
names,
the
by the way.
perv
He had
circuit, homie.
working
Yeah.
passports of these different countries with different names. You can't just get that. You know what I mean? You can't just
get
get these passports without being connected to the intelligence services. And it was never made clear why he was so rich. So who was giving him all that money? Was this like black ops, our tax dollars going to give him this illusion of wealth and power so that he would party with all of these billionaires? And yes, you're right. Blackmail operations happen all across the world. I think America, in terms of just how America has been seized, that's the only explanation for how Israel is able to expand with such a small population. And like, somebody has to be fighting their wars. Somebody has to be funding them. We're funding them. So I think we've just become like the piggy bank to them.
But
Shout out to Candace Owens, man. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I really like that one. Mm-hmm. And man, I would like to link up with her and do a show. Let's link up, Candace. Let's talk about some real stuff. Let's talk about crypto and XRP. You know what I'm saying? That's some global stuff there. That's very serious. Let's hook up on that, man. And Theo Vine, man, good show. Man, right. I'm gonna keep tuning in.
Yeah, man. Keep liking the guests you got. You got coming on there. Got a chance to check out Kat. That was a pretty good interview.
Yeah.
So keep it going, Theo, man. Candace, same with you. I know you got your own situation going on. That's doing pretty well. So congratulations to you, and keep up the good work to both of y'all.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's America's First Golden Age, and I'm Tyrone T.Y.
And I'm LTs.
Thank y'all, man. Like and subscribe and share. Peace.
Peace.
I've got the perfect answer for the ADL. They are going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
I mean, I'm in the twilight zone right now.
Netanyahu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye? It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with Nick and Ye. Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
So you don't like Benjamin Netanyahu?
I just heard about this guy 2 weeks ago since like the tweet. He's like a super killer. I could die for saying this. So in case this is the last time you ever hear from me.
Well, look.